Hello again, I'm Rodney Reynolds from 3dgameman.com and welcome to another video review. Today I'm looking at the NZXT HALE82 750W and 850W power supplies. These products are virtually identical except for the box, because this one is black and green, this one is black and yellow. And of course, the specs are different. But for this video review, I'll be focusing on this baby. This box has a little teeny tiny window here in the front so you can peek in and see the fan. It also has all kinds of features and specifications about the product, including pictures. Notice that the box has this kind of like plastic wrap on it. I love that because you know no one else has been into it. Have a bag here. Ooh. NZXT on it. Inside that bag is a plastic bag with all kinds of modular leads, power cord, and I would suspect somewhere in here there are 4 screws. This is the power supply, which is packaged very well. Notice that the NZXT here on the fan grill has some protective plastic on it. I will remove that. And here are those 4 screws. And the user's manual. The HALE82 series of power supplies are currently available in 3 wattages, 650, 750, and 850. I will be reviewing the 750 watt and 850 watt models. Now, how is this wattage determined? Well, to understand that, you need to know what rails are. And rails are basically well-regulated transformers which convert domestic current into the voltages that your computer system can use. And there are essentially 2 different rails, the 3.3/5 volt rail and the 12 volt rail. In this particular case, the approximate maximum peak output of the 3.3/5 volt rail for the 750 watt model is 150 watts, and the 12 volt rail is 636 watts. For the 850 watt model, it's the same, except the 12 volt rail is 840 watts. The 3.3/5 volt rail is responsible for the motherboard, memory, PCI cards, and so on, while the 12 volt rail is responsible for the hard drives, optical drives, fans, CPU, video cards, etc. It is also important to know the peak amps on each rail. For the 750 watt model, the plus 3.3 volt rail is 23 amps and the plus 5 volt rail is 25 amps, and there's a single plus 12 volt rail which is 62 amps. All the same on the 850 watt model, except the single plus 12 volt rail is 70 amps. There are a number of things to remember when selecting a power supply. The first is wattage. Determine how much wattage you're going to require by the amount of hardware that you will be installing. Generally speaking, a medium to high-end gaming rig would require a 500 to 700 watt power supply. For a hardcore system, select a power supply that's around 800 watts. If, however, you are building an extreme gaming rig with a top-of-the-line multiple video card setup with lots of other hardware, select a power supply that's 1000 watts or greater. Second, it should be at or above 80% efficient at typical load. The efficiency of these power supplies vary between 82 to 85% at 20% to 100% loading. Third, it should meet the latest ATX and other current standards, environmental directives, overvoltage, undervoltage, and other protections. These power supplies meet all current standards. Fourth, I'd recommend choosing a power supply that has APFC. APFC, or active power factor correction, assists a power supply in being more efficient and therefore stable under load. APFC basically reduces total harmonics, corrects input voltage, and allows for full input voltage range. Thankfully, these power supplies have APFC. Fifth, there are 3 main certifications: AD+, NVIDIA SLI, and AMD Crossfire. Many of today's high-end power supplies meet one or more of these certifications. These power supplies are certified to meet 80+ gold requirements. Sixth, look for a power supply that uses Japanese capacitors. This ensures a much more reliable product than a power supply with low-grade capacitors. These power supplies use Japanese brand capacitors. Finally, get a power supply that has enough leads for your setup. Also consider a power supply that has a modular design because it reduces the cable mess inside the case. Also, it is very important to get a power supply with an excellent warranty, and this power supply comes with a 5-year warranty. These power supplies have a black theme, and the housing is steel with a very quiet 120 millimeter fan. This fan and the ventilation ensures the inside of the power supply remains cool in almost any environment. Here's the power cord connection and the power switch. These power supplies have lots of hardwired sleeved leads, but it also has a modular design, and it comes with these flat, flexible, modular cables. Modular leads are brilliant because you only need to use the ones required for your particular setup, and this reduces the cable mess inside the case, and it also increases airflow inside the case. Finally, have a listen to the 120 millimeter fan. These power supplies are affordable, they look great, they come with a quiet fan, they have a semi-modular design, and they're pretty efficient. Now, there are power supplies on the market that are more efficient than this HALE82 series of power supplies. But all things considered, price, performance, how quiet the fan is, and the modular design, these power supplies are kick-ass. Until next time, take care.